Now, Hans Zimmer said that he created the Brahms sound in Inception because of the screenplay note, massive low-end musical tones sounding like distant horns. Do you always write down sound and visual notes in your screenplays? And if yes, can you give an example each of one sound and one visual cue that appeared in your mind early on in the Odyssey, that very early on?
I don't usually include that in the script unless there's a narrative reason, which there was in the case of Inception, because of the way in which the different sounds are translated through the time scales of the dreams. And that was something I needed to involve Hans in. But I do think about particular motifs a lot. And in the case of the Odyssey with Ludwig Göransson, it's the third time I've worked with this composer, and he's an absolute genius, wonderful guy to work with, and a great creative partner. And I bring him in to read the script, and I ask him for music before I've shot anything. And one of the things I said to him about this interpretation of the Odyssey, I said, we're not looking to the Hollywood cinema of the 1950s and 60s with its reverence to sort of romantic era artistic interpretations of the classical world. So we're not going to have the actors speak with English accents and things like that. We're not going to have people kind of wearing bed sheets and standing in front of particular columns or whatever. So if we're taking that kind of artifice off the table visually and in a design sense, in a musical sense, that ought to mean removing the romantic era orchestral tradition. So what can we do without an orchestra? And one of the only suggestions I had for him was the materiality of the time, the Bronze Age. Let's look at bronze things, let's look at gongs and metal and things like that. And I kind of just dumped that on him, and he went on his own incredible journey and looked at these ancient instruments like the aulos and the lyre and found ways to make modern film music with it. Which it was thrilling for me to be a part of.
That's fantastic, because you're saying Bronze Age, and one of the things that I kept hearing was this very different kind of percussion. Even it was not just the regular drums that you heard. It sounded like maybe, I don't know the exact word for it, maybe tinny, something. Bronze Age.
Absolutely. No, there's a lot of different. He banged a lot of different pieces of metal for this movie. The motif, actually, now that I think about it, that was in the script, it's similar to Inception. Actually, was the alarms in Troy, the fall of Troy. These ideas that there would be these thunder sheets or gongs that the soldiers, the watchmen, would start banging and banging. And I brought that to Ludwig's attention. Said we need music that embraces a multiplicity of these kind of alarm sounds joining one after the other to make some kind of productive and meaningful cacophony.